For purposes of discussion, however, today on the show, we'll be focusing on the ongoing recruitment process with regards to some selected security services, not all of them. Some of them under the Interior Ministry, conducting this recruitment. A lot of issues have arisen, particularly over 500,000 applications and just a little over 5,000 slots available. Do the maths. Is it realistic? Brings to the fore again so many issues around youth unemployment, and other matters of national importance and national security concerns as well. But before I introduce my guest and delve into the conversations, we've had a birthday wish from a very special person, so we want to do that very quickly before we go. So, Mr. Malik Andor. They say, happy birthday to the one who makes my world spin. You mean everything to me, and I'm so grateful to call you mine. I love you more than words, deeper than actions, and bigger than any moment. Today and every day, I commit to loving you fiercely, supporting your dreams, and laughing with you in the messy moments. You are stuck with me. Here's to forever with you, and I love you, my love. That's from your wife, Dr. Mrs. Juliana Akushika Andor, Phoebe, Audrey, Charles, Michelle, the Akwe and Andor families. To you, Mr. Malik Andor. Happy birthday to you, sir. Amazing. Moving on. I have joining me in studio a regular on the show, needs no introduction. He's currently the coordinator for the District Road Improvement Program, Honorable Ni Lante Vanderpoel. Sir, good morning and welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Good morning, Jude. How are you?
I'm amazing. I hope you are fine.
I'm blessed.
Last week when you were on the show, the war had heightened. The US-Israel-Iran war, but now it's reached different levels. Yeah. We'll be discussing it later on the show. But we'll start off with a conversation that you are pretty much interested in as well. I know you talk about security issues a lot. If outside of football, it's probably the second conversation you usually will talk on. Yesterday, the Interior Minister, or the Minister for the Interior, Mubarak Muntaka, held a press conference in Parliament, flanked by his deputy. In fact, the Energy Minister was also there with him, and he spoke on the ongoing recruitment process. I want to hear your thoughts, your initial thoughts on all that transpired yesterday.
Well, thank you very much. Let me say good morning to our viewers and to all of us here. I listened carefully to his statement, and I've also observed the reactions of certain people, especially majority of our party people, functionaries, and also the grassroots. And let me say that it's mixed feelings for me this morning. Yes, Ghana has become a country where unemployment is soaring. And the only, let me say, leverage for most of our youth is the security services. They find comfort in applying to go into the security services because they feel that getting other jobs is quite difficult because of the sort of conditions that are required, and sometimes the sort of qualifications that are required. Not too many people will want to have degrees and then go to the security services. That one is reserved for officers. But when you take the ordinary ranks, basically JHS or SHS, and majority of our youth will want to find that way in order to start earning some salary, because a lot of them coming from backgrounds where it's difficult sometimes for parents to be able to meet their demands. Sometimes the difficulty they have is even continuing their education. So some people even want to divert into the security services. Whilst they are in the security services, will try and continue their education. So it has become the most, let me say, preferred destination for most of our unemployed youth. Over the years, there has been lack of transparency in the recruitment of people into the security services. We had cause to complain about it in Parliament. There was even a motion for an inquiry into how people were recruited into the various security services, and also the defense, the military over the years, because it was quite worrying. The partisanship, the corruption, and the favoritism involved in the recruitment of people into the services made it so clear to the NDC during the campaign. And John Mahama promised that we're going to be sure that nobody is disadvantaged and everybody will have a level playing field so that we'll have good representation. There were cases where people think that, or people thought at that time, that the recruitment into a security service were biased. And people were favoring people from their particular jurisdiction as against the rest of the country. So people became keen in trying to find out how these things could be done well. And I think the model we introduced this time was good. It opened up for everybody. Every Ghanaian can apply. It's online. So you cannot see the face or the nose or the ears of somebody to say that because of your nose or your ears, I'm not going to take you. So it was clear that it was opening up a lot of opportunities to many more Ghanaian youth. Unfortunately, the number of places available is not huge enough. If you're looking at situations where we have close to about 750,000 people applying and the opportunities for only 5,000, then you should know many people will be disappointed. Many people will be disappointed. And the process is so, transparent. You go, everything is online. You'll be told whether you've gone through the first stage, go to second stage, do this, do that. Everything is between you and the agency or the particular service doing the recruitment. And the last minute when you are disqualified, you are also giving information to the fact that you have been disqualified and the reason why you were disqualified. My own nephew, my direct brother's son, have been disqualified.
From the process?
When I find out, they said he was overweight. You understand? He's overweight when he went to the medical. And what can I do about it? I have to take him back home, let him work on his weight, and apply next year because he will be qualified. He's very young. So it's clear that the process will definitely not give people the opportunity to use the way it's been done in the past. People were actually selling
the slots.
Political apparatchiks were selling the slots.
And that's what I was coming to, as to whether maybe the political class should take a chunk of the blame, because we hear you on the campaign sometimes. In fact, I recall during the past vetting of the late former defense minister, the minority leader at the time, said to him, the fact that I'm grilling you doesn't mean you should deny me some slots. And it generated some level of public fury, because then it brought to the fore again issues around, so politicians actually have slots reserved for them. We were in parliament for many years. Was this the case where MPs had some slots in these security services for their constituents?
Yes, let me say the truth. The truth was that when there are times when recruitments are being done, it definitely will have to come to Parliament. Parliament has to be informed. And so the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament sometimes made representations on behalf of members of Parliament. So maybe they will say all members of Parliament should bring one slot. You understand? So that is about 275. So and then a particular person. But in the 8th Parliament, we had cause to complain. Names were taken from us, not even one. Were taken from our side, the minority, and we complained. And when we complained, we found out that somebody from the other side used our names to take the slots and give it to their people. And that's why we experienced it. That's why we thought that this particular method will cut down on those things. In the sense that even when you're a member of Parliament and you have been given a slot, the only way the person can get recruited is for the person to go through the process. You understand? You'll be given a slot, but then the person must qualify. So it will not be the case where, as we saw in the past, where people, recruitment that is supposed to be, the age limit should be about 28, 27 or 32. Somebody is 60 years and he had gone through. Somebody and the son and the grandson all went through in the past. You understand? So this one has limited the opportunities that people have to corrupt the system. Okay. But it's also disadvantaged a lot. Let me say this, and with all apologies, we saw what happened under the former regime in the recruitment exercise. I was a member of parliament.
What happened?
So many of these things happened. It was fraught with, let me say, corruption. It was fraught with discrimination, all sort of things. So this time, our party supporters, our grassroots, also thought that this opportunity for them to also be given the chance. Protocol. That's what is used, the word protocol. Unfortunately, the system that has been adopted, and I say that the system is making it highly impossible for us to be political in this recruitment exercise.
The system the NDC administration have put in place.
Yes. Makes it almost impossible for us to be duly political, partisan in the recruitment exercise.
What are the new reforms you instituted that make it?
For example, it's simple that you go onto a portal, and the portal will not ask you which party you belong to. The portal will not ask you who is your father. You understand? So it's free. Everybody put in information. The system work on the information you put in. When you are not qualified, the system right there will make it clear to you are not qualified. Your name is deleted.
As someone who follows security issues keenly, I'm sure you've heard concerns around the alleged AI aptitude test questions asked. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, you see, my problem with those things is that I have no evidence of it. I didn't go to the portal to, so people say, because sometimes the questions... That's the difficulty. When my nephew came, I asked him the questions that were asked, and he told me they were simple questions. Simple questions. One of the questions he said was, what is the name of the chief of defense staff? If you understand.
For somebody who wants to enter the
that could not be that could not be an AI question. You understand? So it's there. But then you see, I think that right from day one, there must be a good conversation between us and our party structures for our people to understand that in building this country, we cannot continue to do the wrong thing all the time.
Thank you very much.
And as such, this is the process that's going to be adopted. It will not be pleasant, but it will help us build a strong society. It will also bring better, stronger institutions that is devoid of discrimination. It's a sacrifice the party people must make. And once we have that conversation with the party supporters, I think they would have understood it better. But now, it's like, we know what happened under MPP. Why? We are in government and we are being denied and being disqualified.
Honorable, I think your point has been made, but I'll come back to you on your calls for reset, right? You touched on it briefly, but your calls for reset and also satisfying the grassroots, right? And the need to have only competent people in our security services. But we've been joined by Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu, who is a former CEO of the Environmental Protection Agency, also a key follower of issues around security. Sir, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
I hope you are well.
Very much so.
Yes.
Last week we met.
Yes, sir.
Here on this table.
Yes, sir.
With Honorable.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I hope you are well.
Very much so.
Great. We are discussing the security services. There's an ongoing recruitment. Your party and its minority leader in parliament, they've accused government of not being candid with Ghanaians with the ongoing process. Of course, we also remember the unfortunate incident at Burma camp where some lives were lost as a result of the process. But government tells us that because of the level of transparency they've put this time around, we are seeing a lot more Ghanaians show interest, hence the overwhelming numbers in terms of those who want to come into these services. What are your initial thoughts on those claims?
Well, good morning to your cherished viewers. First of all, let me extend my condolences once again to the victims of that armed forces recruitment exercise. That girls, we lost the lives of girls, females, and it was quite appalling. We did not know whether those who got injured okay now, but we continue to pray for them. That going forward, how many people applied?
We have been told over 500,000 for fire, police, immigration, and prisons.
And then how many are to be recruited?
A little over 5,000.
So you see how we've succeeded in institutionalizing criminality, extortion from the ordinary poor people. These are poor young people of Ghana who, through no fault of theirs, are eager to help, serve their countries in those various capacities. And the institutions do know how many people that can be absorbed. Yet we go ahead and advertise and encourage these young poor people to pay, or they don't pay. How much do they pay?
I know.
Find it for me, please.
They pay.
I want to know how much was paid by each one of them, and let's do the calculations. Then we will come to understand why some of us think the system is so corrupted that it is prepared to extort monies from the poor ordinary, the cocoa farmer, whose son or daughter or dependent will want to go into these services. Just let us look at that and see. Maybe you are talking about protocol lists. Have you touched on that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You haven't touched on protocol lists.
Honorable mentioned briefly that in Parliament they had slots.
No, call it protocol list. Parliament has protocol. The list will be there. Jubilee House protocol. Whatever. So if it is 5,000, I can assure you 4,000 slots will go into protocol. So the poor child from Amakrum or Mredane, where my cocoa farm is, will be left to compete for that 1,000 slot with as many as 500 or 400,000 people. So we can imagine. This is a systemic failure. This is a state failure. He's trying to, the previous government, blah, blah, blah. Which government started with the Fourth Republican Ghana? It is NDC. You wrote the Constitution. You pride yourself with writing the Constitution. And you started and began with this recruitment exercise from day one. And you've been in government over and over and over. So if there is a... Please. So if there is a canker within the society system, you are the first to be blamed.
How?
Of course, because you set bad precedents. How? And it's been followed up to this point.
The Constitution does not tell us how to recruit people into the security services.
I'm coming. But the security services and their acts and everything tells us how they should do it. So they are doing it without principles. So who set those regulations?
The institutions.
The institutions. Under whose government? Whose watch? I'm coming.
But that
is what I'm saying. That is why you could have done better without trying to...
That's why we are doing better.
Please.
Now.
Please. No. I'm saying that you could have done better without impugning blame on a particular government.
No,
and
but
in
that's
this case,
I said we are now correcting.
No, we were correcting what? You started the rot. You began the rot when we were ushered into 1994. 1993.
But Honorable, what do you have to say to critics who feel that all of these issues are describing worsened during the past 8 years under your government?
It is not true. It even got better when digitalized systems were introduced. Which government introduced the digitalization you are talking about? The online. I'm coming. Which government introduced the online system where you go onto the portal?
It was there before you came?
No.
Oh,
No.
You mean Ghana went into digitalization?
Please, you even said
in 2017.
You even said that. And yet the digitalization, I prefer.
It shouldn't be a priority.
I prefer Kenke to digitalization.
Yes,
you said that
it shouldn't be a priority.
So it wasn't your priority. So
I'm saying that the fact that it's not a priority doesn't mean we didn't introduce it.
So
2017, did digitalization start in 2017 in Ghana?
So let me have my bite.
Let me have my bite. Let him just
let me have my bite.
But before you even finish your point, there's an article I've just seen here, right? dated November 2022, and the headline is Minority at the time condemns recruitment into security services. Of course, government denied the allegations, but they said that some soldiers were entering the military having not even gone through medical processes. And this is 2022.
Listen. You know of 2022. You don't know what was said 1990. What is it? 20. When did we start? 1996, 1992, 1995, coming 2000, up to 2000. You don't know what was said. Maybe you were still in JHS.
but you don't know my age.
I don't know, but exactly. That's why I said maybe. I chose my words carefully. That's why I said maybe. I don't know, and I don't.
Please go.
So you see, the canker began from somewhere. And that's why I began by saying this is state failure, institutional failure, something we must deal with it. If, for instance, during the previous government's recruitment exercise was fraud with all those things you're talking about, and to cure the canker, all you had to do is to encourage 500,000 youth of this country to go on to this application, collect their monies, knowing very well that we are going to take only 5,000. Is it not robbery? Is it not daylight extortion, institutionalized by the state? I mean, what are we doing to ourselves?
Let me ask a simple
question.
No,
but don't ask me. You are not. You don't have the mandate. He is here, and he's satisfied with what happened. Is it not so? That is your correction. Please, let's do the calculation. Somebody should help me. How much was being paid by these kids?
No, they were not paying it significant. It's only buying this thing.
That
gives the opportunity to go.
Even if it is one city, if it is one city,
yes,
we are talking about 500,000 Ghanaians. Yes. So cumulatively they will pay 500,000 cedis. So these state institutions will be richer by 500,000 cedis.
No, it's a system that you are using.
They
pay to enter the system.
Somebody is being paid the system. The system is not for free.
Yes.
Maybe you had a contract to supply that system and whatever. So you are being paid. If I had a contract, I will be paid by the poor person. That's the thing Dr. we must establish.
Thank you very much.
No, don't thank me, because you see, these are youths who were promised business, jobs opportunities, to the extent that it's on tape. One NDC guy said, if we come to power, if President Mahama wins the elections, and you go to any institution and you looking for a job, and they ask you to bring certificate, slap the person there. I can show you.
Who said it?
It's not on my phone.
No, if you can't
please,
say,
if you can't say, get me.
No, if you can't mention, the person who uttered the words, then you have to. As for NDC, you have to hold on.
You see, as for NDC, they have so many people to tell those stories. Don't forget about this guy I'm saying. They said, don't forget about LGBT.
No,
they are capable of saying anything. I said, I will find it for you. I'll fish it out. No, and you play it.
Until you find a person, maybe just say you want to rephrase the point you
I will not rephrase. That is it. It's verbatim.
But you've not showed us.
I will show you before we leave here. And I want you to show to the entire
I'll be waiting on it. Yes. Let me come to you. I've heard members of your government to an extent say that government should be candid with those who didn't get into the recruitment or didn't get to the services and refund them. The director of operations at the, who's a deputy general secretary of your party, has made those calls. What are your thoughts on that?
You see, Jude, let's all understand one thing, that even if the system was going to recruit a person, it will be open for people. So more than one person will apply. You get me? Even if it is 10 people, it will be opened publicly. Unless you want us to use our own desires. So go and pick 10 people. Go and pick 20 people. But if we want to be transparent, we want everybody to have an equal playing field, every Ghanaian to have access to the system, then even if we are looking for 10 people, more than 10 people will apply. It's a principle we must all understand. And once more than 10 people will apply, it means that more than 10 people will be disappointed. You get me? So as for the disappointment, is there. Maybe it's the quantum that has become a problem. because we're looking for 5,000. So maybe let's say that as soon as we sell 10,000 forms, let's stop it. You understand? And go through, and the next time we can also open up for another 10,000 slots.
The quality of people you are looking for is not in that 10,000.
So then you can make provision for another recruitment. You understand? I'm looking at improving on the system. So for example, let's say that we are looking for 5,000. So we open up, because we are using a system. The system, as soon as it gets to 10,000, should be closed. Then we go through that 10,000 people who have applied. When we have gotten our 5,000, fine. If we don't get the 5,000, then we'll open the system for other people to apply. That means that we'll be sieving out slowly and not that huge number.
Interesting.
Secondly, let me say this. The truth of the matter is that that's why the minister has come out and is being candid about the process, is being candid about the numbers, and he's not. Look, yesterday when I heard him, to some extent I wasn't happy, because I was thinking about my grassroots. I was thinking about the thousands of young men and women who were all over the place in the pickups, some of them being beaten, some of them being assaulted, and the rest across the country, who were hoping that we will also do what was done previously by giving them an opportunity to enter, no matter the qualification. Like my brother Tukovu said, we will also use protocol to just swarm the numbers in. They are disappointed. Yes, I understand. But that's why I said that maybe in restructuring the system, resetting the system, we should have engaged them more to let them understand the process. So that if I'm not qualified from day one, I know I'm not qualified, I wouldn't even apply for it in the first place. But the engagement was not done adequately. So people went in with the thought, the mind, the aspiration that they were going to go through just as others went through. Let me tell you, one boy came to me, stronger, he was an agent in my constituency. And all that he's looking for is to go to immigration. He has a degree from UPSA. His own house, his cousin, previously, could not even finish SHS. But because there is somebody who is a very strong person, a whole director of operations at the presidency at the time, within that family, he got recruited. The guy got recruited. And today, he, with his degree, qualified everywhere.
So you admit politicians have to take some of the blame because you sold castles in the sky.
I agree perfectly that we influence the system. That's why today we have a system which is devoid and will not permit individual interference. The system is there, but just that we all agree that the numbers have become too huge, that many more people want to enter. Many more people would be disqualified. Many more people will be disappointed.
I'm sure those watching now are now interested in what the solutions are.
Yes.
The problem has been created across the political divide, across the table, we believe so. It happened in NDC, it's happened in MPP, and we need to fix that. So,
no, but we are fixing it.
You ask for this, and you have it.
So this is
listen.
What, I've seen it.
Listen, no, you haven't seen. You will ask for it. I want the public to know
how.
Because I made a statement. He wanted the proof, and I've given the proof. Yes. The public, the listeners, the viewers must know.
Across the table, we agree that
no. It is the listeners
across both divides.
Joshua Kamba is no more a government.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
It's not a
Baba, now you know Joshua Kamba did it. And he's an NDC organizer before.
He mentioned the name.
He's an NDC member.
Yes. And he said,
honorables, let's move on. I think across the table.
Oh, Mr. Producer, please help me.
Yes, across the table. I'm coming.
They are intimidating me. Please, producer, come to my rescue.
On TV saying that he has sent over 7,000 people into the security.
So you give a proof.
Thank you.
You prove it.
No, I said it on TV.
Across the table, I think we both agree that we need to do better from the political class, because even your minority leader told the late former defense minister that because he was grilling him,
yes,
he shouldn't deny him slots.
Of course, that is why I told you. I told you from the beginning.
Should I also give you a video where Afenyo Makin was in the frequency, standing there telling people that even though we are in opposition, when you now have a police.
You can do that. You can do that. I have no problem. You see, you can do that. What I'm saying is, it's an institutional failure. Let us accept that.
Yes.
A state managed, managed extortion of the people.
I don't think it's fair to say it is state managed extortion.
Why? Under MPP, it happened.
You also took money for
I'm saying, listen to me. Me say under MPP, it happened. Under NDC, it is happening. And you begin from 1993, when NDC took office, the Fourth Republican Ghana. It happened. Up to the time of J. Kufuor, it happened. Up to a point where we thought online registration would, curtail that canker. Up to this point, it has not stopped. Under MPP, the last previous government, you can still have the numbers. How many how many youth registered or applied? Yeah. How many were taken? We can always compare, and up to this point. So I'm saying that this thing keeps on continuing. We are talking about protocols, and I am talking seriously about situation where we all know that we can absorb only 5,000, yet we go to the extent of getting 500,000 people on board. What is it? Even in our universities, it's happening. Yes,
and we all agree.
Yes, educational institutions is happening.
When it is about two people, it's more people than two.
No, but there must be a closure at a point. There must be.
That's what I said.
We must find lasting solutions.
We must. So let's come to the solutions.
Okay, now
underlining this problem is that there's a serious youth bulge across the continent, of which Ghana is part of.
Yes,
and there's also a crisis, an unemployment crisis. You look at the job numbers, it doesn't make for pleasant reading.
Okay.
So how do we nip this in the bud? Government is promising a lot within the space. There's the big push where they say will create jobs. There's the 24-hour economic policy program, which is aimed at creating jobs for the teeming youth. Is that the solution?
You see, politicians, we are. The solution must begin with us. The solution is telling the truth, telling Ghanaians, and when it comes to employment, the youth, telling them the truth, the realities on the ground. When in opposition and you take advantage of the unemployment situation and rally the youth around, promise them that you're going to give them jobs to do. You tell them that in the existing systems, job opportunities available, you have the magic to create, they call it 331 or 133.
133.
133.
So one job, 3 shifts, 3 people.
You say that is the solution. So is that solution working? One, is it working? The answer is no.
Why?
So, please, you said, he's asking for solutions.
Yes.
And I'm saying that when you were in opposition, you have proffered that one of the solutions would be 133.
Yes.
One job,
yes.
3 persons,
yes.
and then 3 shifts.
Yes.
So you are a CEO now. So is it the case that you should have 3 CEOs so that you go 1 shift, another CEO come for another shift, and then another CEO come? I'm coming. It is practically impossible. It is not working. You see, 3 shifts, we all know, and you know, that these shift systems is something that is demand-driven, particularly in production, in manufacturing sector, where if I'm producing this water and the demand is so high, then I will add 1 more production line so that I will need 1 more hand. So it can be 3, 4, 2, depending on the economics of it. That is it. That's principle. And this is something that is there already. It can be innovative only when you put some measures in place to do the accommodation. For instance, during Akufo-Addo's free SHS, we had a surge of these youth coming in for the schools. I mean, they registered and they applied, and we have so many children in. So there was the need to find a way to get them there. That's how come the shift system in education came up. And in the position, you criticized heavily. But the Akufo-Addo government insisted that not a single child should be left behind because there's no opportunity there. So we can have shift system.
Was not a shift system.
Oh, please.
Yours was not a shift
system.
Please, let him finish his point. I'll come to you. There's enough time for you to
So
make
you
point.
said traffic light.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. But the idea was to make room for these kids who otherwise wouldn't have gotten the opportunity because the infrastructure was there. Here, this is your studio. After your show, another group is coming. You even rearrange things. So me sitting home at, hey, city, home is brutal. But it is a rearrangement just to accommodate at the other shift. Is it not the case? Yes. It is not a panacea to a teeming unemployed youth where we haven't created an avenue for production to move on, manufacturing, where you can put you were talking about service provision. Service provision, they say passport office, running 3 shifts. For how long?
DVLE.
DVLE.
24 hours. But it is offering, is bringing some benefits.
I agree, but for how long? Go and look on their compensation. They are neck deep. They are spending almost all their IGF on compensation because they have been forced to recruit people into the system where they do not even have desks to sit on. Go to other institutions. I don't want to mention. I don't want to create any problem this morning. But the fact still remains that as politicians, as leaders of this country, we have not been truthful to ourselves and to the people of Ghana. One of the solutions under Akufo-Addo's government was to promote this STEM, promote this CODVET, this skills development in the middle stream. Technology. In Germany, my brother just came, he's from Germany, and in Germany, you have this Fachhochschule, that's the technical schools, that bridges the higher learning, the so-called higher learning, or education that brings nothing, and then the down there. Yes, we have
always had technical schools.
Please, but people were not, people were not getting attractive to that. You and I want our children to go to the normal university where they will graduate BA, BSc, whatever.
But we introduced technical universities.
Oh, please.
We introduced technical universities.
Don't worry.
We upgraded all the polytechnics
don't
to
worry.
technical
He's asking for solution. You did all that, and yet you are not using it as for the solutions. You did it, so and you left it.
Yes.
Now I'm saying that
so
as
education,
a nation,
STEM education.
Yes, STEM education. Go and check what Dr. Aduchum's period, all those things were built and the records are there. Very soon we will be coming out with our manifesto, previous one. I'll be dealing with the previous manifesto. What Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had said then, leading NPP, that if we were to come to office at the time, what was going to be the solutions to some of these things. But for me, the first solution is truth. We must be truthful to the people. We should tell them exactly what the situations are, what can be done and what cannot be done. But for votes, we can lie and lie and lie, and the reality is dawning on us. The youth
Thank you very
are
much.
asking for what you promised them.
Interesting.
Let me say this.
Honorable, I'll come to you. I want to just read a couple of messages, then I'll come to you. And some of your messages are coming in thick and fast, and you can do so also by sending your thoughts, your comments, your contributions, even your experiences. Have you applied to any of the security services before? What was the procedure like? What's your experience like? Would love to hear from you. The number is on your screen. You can do so shortly. But a couple have come in already. Good morning, ChannelOne TV. Many applicants may join primarily because they need stable income, not necessarily because they are passionate about policing, the military, or other security roles. When survival becomes the main motivation, commitment to the deeper responsibilities, the job can suffer. This is Samson Techiba from Brekum. Good morning, Jude. Honorable Nivan Vanderpoy is being very honest, and I like his submissions. Politicians need to look inward and know that the problem is from them. Your name is Evans AJ. Thank you for sending that one. Hi, good morning. I'm watching your show and I'd like to contribute on the matter. I applied to the security services, that's the Ghana National Fire Service and the Ghana Immigration Service. The application form was 200 cedis. Honorable, you were asking.
220.
He said 200.
200, okay.
However, the aptitude test we wrote online had many questions that had nothing to do with the sectors we applied to.
Just to fill
you
them.
didn't add your name. Please
Just
send me
to
some of the
fill them.
questions they asked, because all the ones I've seen is, you know, asking hybridization and who, you know, did the first heart transplant in the world.
Seriously?
And then allegedly.
No, seriously?
Allegedly.
But what
Allegedly.
is it not ordinary question?
So viewers will censor the questions.
And this is
Viewers will send the questions, then we'll try and verify from the relevant authorities. Good morning, Jude. If Dr. Kokofu knows all this started from the Fourth Republic to date, did he speak about it when they were in power?
Yes, I
power
did.
has changed, and
I
he's
did.
behaving like he has the Ghanaian interest at heart.
Oh, I spoke about it
This is
when we were in office.
Kwame
Yes.
from Kaswa.
Even when we were in parliament, I spoke about it.
Interesting. Politicians are all the same. Let power change tomorrow. Dr. Kokofu will sing the same praise song. James from Dansuman. Dr. Kokofu is hitting the nail right where it has to be hit, because the politicians know what the issue are. They are charging the money and they know where the money is going to after taking these huge sums of money from the ordinary Ghanaian. We need to do better as a people. Just listen to Dr. Kokofu. He said politicians should tell the truth. When was the last time any NPP politician told the truth? Who is the
I'm
biggest
telling
liars
now.
in Ghana's history? I'm not sure about that.
I'm telling the truth now.
Anyway, Kweku, please. Moving on to some other message. From what we are seeing, this NDC-led administration, it's evident this country needs Dr. Baumia to turn things around for the better. This is Jomo from. This is Festus from Jomo Pokwase. A couple more messages are coming via Twitter, and my handle is at Mensa Duncan. You could also use ChannelOne TV's handle, ChannelOne TV GH, to send the message. Kwame Edupoku, the recruitment process must be more transparent. Many qualified young people apply every year, but they feel the system favors people with connections. And
Yes.
Dr. Kokofu is very right when he says that Jubilee House and Parliament have their own people even before the process begins. Yeah. That's Kwame sending the message. AJB also says, why do we hear about the recruitment only when the deadline is almost over? Information should reach everyone early, especially people in rural areas. Abdul Intamali says, a lot of youth want to serve the country through the security services, but the process seems too complicated and expensive for some applicants. Honorable Neil Antevandapoy, please talk to your people. The grassroots is angry. Abdul, you say. Finally here, if the government wants the best officers, recruitment should focus strictly on merit and fitness, not recommendations from politicians and the Jubilee House. You didn't add your name to this particular message. So clearly, there's a lot of disaffection with the process. Listening to Dr. Kokofu, two key issues stand out. He talks about truthfulness from politicians across the divide. He also talks about the need for STEM education. What are your thoughts on the solutions?
Before I come to that, let's agree. Issues about job creation, issues about job unemployment is also a ripple of population growth. Over the years, as the population becomes bigger, you have more people coming out of schools, universities, and the rest wanting jobs. And we can see over the years, our opportunities for jobs has not been as, let me say, expensive as population growth. And so under population's dynamics, as your population grows, you need to make it possible for it and other sectors of the economy to be opened up in such a way that it can absorb. But over the years as a country, we've not been able, we've rather closed, we've rather narrowed the opportunities available for people and the growth of population to respond. So we have more universities today. The universities are churning out hundreds of thousands of graduates. Where are the job opportunities? So it's become almost impossible for almost everybody who comes up. Unlike mine, I got unemployment when I was in the final year in the university. in 1989.
With GBC?
Yes, before I left university, I had a job. There were times when institutions were recruiting people on campus before they even write their final exams. Today, it's not like that. So we live in a country where we are opening up the frontiers of education, but there is no corresponding opportunities for jobs. So today, you even have graduate people with master's degrees looking for messenger job to do. And they don't even get. You get me? That's why there is a rush, everybody. And it's also one thing I've seen, one thing I've observed. We have almost all our educational institutions undertaking courses that are not related to the market. If you have almost all the universities doing human resource development, logistics and supply, how many institutions in this country are involved in logistics? How many institutions do we have that have to churn out human resource departments? You understand? So our whole educational system must be looked at again. I agree. Could we talk about STEM? As if STEM is a new creation. Me and him grew up in an educational system when there were opportunities for STEM. When I was in school, look, it was not only the so-called, let me say, colonial subjects, as we call them, English, maths, science. There were opportunities for technical drawing and all these others. And then the PNDC introduced what today is called a STEM with the new technical schools. There were even day technical schools. And the new JHS, which was introduced at that time, JSS, which was introduced at that time, gave so much opportunity for technical vocational skills. With your introduction, you brought STEM. STEM is limited to some schools. So it doesn't give the opportunity for all the schools to go through the same. But I want to say where the frontier will be that every school is focusing more on technical vocational science instructions. So we have more people coming out of. But in that situation, what we also be looking at, how many more science-based, technical-based institutions, establishments will be opened up so that they can absorb.
Okay.
Because if we also open up that frontier of education, and there is no corresponding institutions and establishment to absorb them, they will also become an unemployment thing for us. So now I say that today with this recruitment, what we are saying is that many more young men and women prefer the security services, as somebody said, for job security. You understand? They know that one when they enter, but for disciplinary measures, they will stay in until they come on pension. You understand? So I think that we must open up a bit more. If we accept, the studies show that we still don't have that strength of our security service and we need to recruit more. Let's focus about recruiting more and stop spending money on other areas like youth in afforestation, youth in this. Those ones are not sustainable jobs. If we can open up the frontier of our security services so that we can equally have the United Nations target of 1 policeman to about 100 people, then we know. Then as a country, we are not only building the security services, we are not only creating jobs, but we are also making sure that our security, entire national security outlook becomes what it's supposed to be.
Interesting. Because I was looking at this thing, right, and I was using the MTN Momo model, for example, and I was asking myself, which one government agency has been able to create a sustaining job opportunity like Momo? A lot of the time we come with fanciful names, NAPCO, and after 6 months we are struggling to pay them. Youth in afforestation, youth in this, but the jobs and the sustainability always raises questions. But thank you for your points.
I want to make a last point.
I want to go on a break, then I come back, then we'll just wrap up.
I just want to make this point.
We'll go on a break, I will come back.
Jude, you see, the issue...
10 seconds.
The issue...
Then Jude, I will have 1 minute.
The issue about 24-hour jobs. Kokofu answered this himself. And I would just want him to say that, look, a system whereby we create an institution, you say service, under normal circumstances, somebody works 8 hours, it's gone home. Somebody comes and continue, like you said, DVLA, you said Gapoha, You said all these things. They are working. The 24-hour services are working. But now you see, there is a whole legal
I've been also told that it's yet to fully take off.
Yes, because the legal system is now. The president just assented to the law.
Jude, we are joking. When we still think we the politicians, the government should continue to be the greatest employer in this country. We are joking.
The private sector.
The private sector. Because as we speak today,
it's a whole different topic.
No. As we speak today, governments upon governments get choked with compensation.
Doctor,
the private sector must necessarily be encouraged to, and we have advantage in the agribusiness. Why are we not encouraging?
That's what government set up agribusiness.
Thank you very much.
So the problem
across the table, my guests believe that politicians need to be more truthful in their dealings with their constituents, and of course, the need for education. Honorable Kokofu says we should look at STEM. Neil Vanderpoel says we should relook the whole educational setup and put in place tailor-made, courses that meet the modern job demands. Yeah, it's an issue that has generated lots of public interest. So many messages coming. Of course, somebody has sent me a question here. It says Georgia, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan became members of the UNO in A, 1994, B, 1993, C, 1992, and D, 1991. Is this a security question? Another one, first human heart transplant was conducted by Dr. Christian Barnard on Lewinsky Washhansky. And in what year? 1967, 1968, 1922, and 1951. What is hybridization?
I will have failed.
I mean, so many messages. Eric from Ablekuma, it's true. 90% of the questions asked during the test have nothing to do with Ghana or the service. One question asked which tech company is facing legal action since 2023. Good morning. In 1993, I wrote an exam to be recruited into the immigration service. I came through. Since then, nobody called me. They sold my position. Ghana can be a very cruel place sometimes. And this other one says, this government has scammed all the youth. It says AI will vote for them in 2028. And on that note, I'll take a quick break. When we're back, there's a lot more. US, Ghana, airstrikes, Nigeria and the question, ongoing Middle East tensions, a lot more to delve on the show. Don't go away. Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily right here on Channel One TV. My name is Jude Duncan, sitting in for a regular host, Nana Tufo Boatin. Just gone by, we're looking into the issues on the ongoing recruitment and into security services, the challenges, the concerns, the fears from some recruits and persons who've subscribed to be part of the process. But now we'll shift focus to our second conversation for the day, U.S. airstrikes and Ghana's involvement in Nigeria. The minority have raised some questions. I'll bring you excerpts of that. But so many messages, and because we do the show for you, our lovely viewers, I want to just read a few of them before we go. This one says, Jude, tell the MPP and MDC that the youth of this nation has had enough. They've been lying to us. They know themselves. They are playing a smart game with our future. A time is coming, they will see our anger. And my name is JT Mohammed, an ex-Ghanaian footballer, and happens to be back home after staying in the US for 39 years. My question is, why in the world do you have to pay for a fee to apply for a government job? Is there any reason at all? Why don't we just say applicants to pay, let's say, £1 for the formalities? Now, that one
is also payment.
I respectfully suggest to both panelists to advise whoever is responsible for the ongoing process to be honest with citizens of Ghana. With the experience I acquired living abroad, I think it's just weird and hard to understand. And this one says, hi, good morning. I'm Ashon from Pune. I applied for a driver job, but the questions being asked was only based on electrical engineering questions. I don't know, but viewers, if any of you know what hybridization is, you can text into the show so that we'll all learn, what's going on. Anyway, amazing. Honorable Kokofu, can you please spare me this?
Okay.
I want to just read excerpt from the story. Thank you very much. Story, big front page headline, Minority quizzes government over US airstrikes from Ghana. Story on page 3 of the Daily Guide newspaper. Story by Ernest Kofiedu. Excerpts read, the minority in parliament has demanded urgent explanations from the government following claims that Ghana's territory was used by the United States to launch airstrikes against ISIS targets in northern Nigeria. The concerns were raised by the ranking member of the Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee, Samuel Abujinapo, who said The alleged development has raised serious implications for Ghana's foreign policy and national security. Brief excerpts read, addressing journalists in Parliament yesterday, Mr. Jinapor said the minority was reacting to comments made by the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, during a panel discussion at Chatham House in London. According to the minority, the Foreign Affairs Minister indicated that during the discussion, the government collaborated with the United States in December 2025 to allow Ghanaian territory to be used as a base for airstrikes targeting terrorist groups in ISIS in northern Nigeria. And I'll start with you, Dr. Kokofu. You've been following issues very keenly. You know, the world, as we know right now, is at crossroads. From the Gulf, even here in Africa, we've not been spared of the activities of terrorist attacks. A few weeks ago, our compatriots in tomato business got killed in line of their work. What are your initial remarks on this particular issue?
Okay, but is it true, sir? Questions we say be a hybridization. Yeah.
Oh, that's what viewers.
That's
what viewers have said.
And this is so serious. It has never happened before.
Can you answer the question?
I will, but I sympathize with the youth out there.
Okay,
It's
as a former EPA boss, can you please explain to us in 10 seconds what hybridization is?
You see the test is. Well, hybridization has to do with a concept where you put two things together, in order to produce an improved version. For instance, you may have cocoa, you work on it genetically, and then you produced a superior variety. So it's called a hybridized variety. It can also permeate in other sectors. You put two systems together and you get a new system that is immune from, the idea is it should be immune from some kind of diseases or problems or something from the previous. So it's an innovation. It's something that we, the scientists, we do, particularly plant scientists, plant genetics, and geneticism in general. But how has this got to do with me and
Dr. Kokofu? Thank you very much. Minority quizzes government on U.S. airstrikes from Ghana. I think it was reviewed by.
Well, is it true? Is it true that the Foreign Affairs Minister made that statement?
He had a public engagement with Chatham House in the UK and made some comments to that effect.
As to what? I just want us, because the minority did not speak in vacuum. I mean, they asking this or doing the quizzing based on certain information, and I want the public to know that kind of information that was churned out by the foreign minister. And
I think we have a video.
So we can all interrogate.
We have a video from the foreign minister. I think we aired it yesterday. My producers will bring it. Then we'll play it.
So let me play the
panel discussion.
In a panel discussion, and he let go that kind of information. Serious. That's a diplomatic flaw to start with. And well, I don't know much, but this is highly, friends say, security intelligence, classified intelligence. I don't know what
you don't know the question that was asked.
We'll try and find the video.
So that is why
you don't know what the discussion was about. The discussion was the discussion on security in West Africa.
Suppose the question was on that. Do you think you let go such information?
Before that question will be asked, it's an international knowledge.
Fine. So
the
then
US has tracked all those ISIS targets in northern Nigeria.
I'm not disputing. I'm saying, what I'm saying is, do we have our foreign minister to go out there and be churning out some of this information?
So were you expecting
what are the implications on the national security systems?
I know. Were you expecting the foreign minister to say no, it's not true?
Well, you are not getting me. That's why we have something called diplomacy.
Yes, so the diplomacy is that question should not have been on the discussion in the first place.
Well, so you are there. So you and I here, the man may ask some question. I will be polite. I'll be honest enough to say politely I decline.
So I'm being informed that the minister didn't officially say that the strikes happened from here.
He did officially.
He did not officially say that.
So what occasioned
the minorities
No. What
He
occasion?
was even on your radio station yesterday.
Yes.
What
yes,
occasion?
yes.
What information did he give out there? What information did he give out there concerning the subject matter? It is very necessary. We need to interrogate that. That is why the minority is raising this issue. The minority is concerned about the security implications of these things.
They are not.
on the
They
national.
are not. They are just being irresponsible.
Who is being irresponsible?
The minority.
Here.
Yes, the minority.
Not the minister who gave out
No,
that,
the
that
minority.
information.
Honorable Madapo,
Two wrongs don't make right.
Honorable Madapo, I'll come to you.
If you
Critically-
think the minister said
critically-
it, you should not. They have made it public. The minister said it in
Who-
an enclosed.
Honorable
and
Who says
Madapo,
so?
I
Who
want you to
says
have
so?
a full take on it.
Yes,
So I'll come
so
back. Okay.
you hold your fire. You see, this is not the first time the foreign minister has been coming out with some of these statements that puts the country in a very awkward position in the diplomatic circles. So I want us to tread cautiously. I do not have the full
facts.
the full facts available. But for the minority to have come out to quiz, we are showing concern. It is the concern, the repercussions or otherwise that we need to know. And this is a quiz. They want to know from the sector, the foreign ministry, whether really this went on or not. But we must tread cautiously in some of these things.
Honorable Madapo.
Let me say this with my background. I would say that in Parliament, we have so many opportunities to seek the same answers we are looking for without making the other issues public. The minority could have sought the answers from the minister at the committee level in Parliament. It could even come within the committee of the whole,
Okay.
where media will not be there for those things to be carried out. But when you organize a press conference and you throw this thing out there, what we actually do is that you are accentuating the issue.
The matter.
You are escalating it. You are making more people know what has been said in a closet. Look, normally what happens at Chatham House is there's a topic which is discussed, and the questions will center on certain things. So whether the minister directly said what he said or not, it is for the minority, in the interest of the security of the state, to use appropriate forum in Parliament to ask for those answers they are looking for. So you call him to the committee or the whole, or the Defense and Intelligence Committee, Security and Intelligence Committee, Defense and Interior Committee, leadership of those committees. You sit down and ask those questions. It ends there at the committee level. You understand? Whatever you are looking for, the clerk will file it, and then it becomes a record of Parliament.
Yeah.
But because of you wanting to score political points, you go and mount a press conference and throw this thing out there, and now today it has become public discussion. What you are actually doing is that you are opening Ghana up for attacks from these people. Two, look, what was the reason for this target, for US hitting this target? Ghana, haven't we already established a US base here? We have. We have established a US base here.
But Dominic Nitu, who is a former defense minister, said that even though we had former past agreements, in all of these agreements, at no point did the United States or any country allow to use the territory of Ghana to launch as a launch pad to attack any individual, nation,
Because
group,
at
or
no
organization.
point, at no point there was the need.
Jude, let me interject in here. I would suggest we defer this topic because we will also be, like you said, exposing a whole lot of things.
I agree with you.
Let us defer.
I agree with you.
Because I'm very much uncomfortable
with the conversation.
Yes.
But very finally,
This
before
is-
we move
this
on,
is
we actually have
skewed
one more conversation to
Yeah,
to
that
do.
one we can share.
The minority have called on the Foreign Affairs Minister to appear before Parliament. Would you say this is a call
They
in
should
the
have
right?
done that first. They should have done that first. The Minister of Foreign Affairs could
I
be
still
summoned
maintain that
to a committee.
that discussions pertaining to these things must be deferred, and the proper things.
But is it,
being
Koko,
done.
you and I have been in Parliament.
Yes,
there
of
are many
course.
instances where certain
That is what I'm saying.
sensitive issues.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't do press conference.
That's what I'm saying.
We handle it at the
That's what
committee
I'm
level.
saying on this public platform. You should defer it and then go on another.
Let me just read a quote myjoyonline.com reported the Foreign Affairs Minister to have said.
You still want to go on that tangent?
By just for purposes of
I recuse myself from this conversation, so I'm not here. I'm not party to it.
Fair enough, we'll move on pretty shortly. But this quote by myjoyonline.com says, the Nigerians will confirm to you that they invited Americans and they also reached out to Ghana to collaborate. Yes, both the Nigerians and the Americans. So that's how we are playing this out. Sovereignty has to be respected. Territorial integrity has to be respected, Mr. Ablakwa stated. And the headline to this article is Ablakwa reveals Ghana's role in U.S.-Nigeria Christmas
Nigerian
Day
government
strikes
itself has said that they invited the U.S. to do that because they were having problem with dealing with these ISIS and the kidnapping of girls and all those things. You understand? And two, as a Ghanaian sitting here, I'm having in mind what happened in Burkina. If there is ISIS target in Burkina and Nigeria, America want to hit it, why not? Why not?
Fair enough.
Why should we allow rebels and these insurgents to continue to cause trouble for us in West Africa?
I think across the table we believe that Parliament should be.
I agree perfectly.
Meeting the minister
and I agree
to get the full facts on the matter.
That's what I'm saying, that what they did was irresponsible because they know the structure of Parliament and they know the opportunities that they have as a committee. Parliament is strong. You can summon the minister anytime.
Honorable Kokofu, you recused yourself.
Yes, I've recused myself. My Joy Online is reporting this. It's a public knowledge.
Yeah,
it shouldn't have been.
Nigeria, this thing happened in 2025.
Christmas Day.
Yes, in 2025. So Nigerians have talked about it already.
So what kind of irresponsibility then lies on
that's
on
what I'm
the
saying,
minority?
that it is something
it is
that
already
is
said there. So
it's
I'm saying let
dead.
us keep it. You are going to resurrect it. You are resurrecting it.
Thank you very much. So yes, Honorable Van der Poel makes the point that Parliament should be meeting the minister before coming out with some of these press conferences on some of these sensitive issues.
International security issues.
International security issues. Honorable Kokofu recused himself. So
yes.
It is a house
but he
of
agrees with me.
I agree with the point that it should be treated differently for
a lot of discreet.
Yes.
Amazing. All right, so we'll move on the conversation. The Middle East tensions still escalating. The president for the U.S. last week said that there was an end in sight soon, but it doesn't seem to happen because yesterday the Strait of Hormuz, which controls about 21% of the world's oil supply, according to Iran, has been effectively shut to cargo, not from Iran. So many other things happening, right? And yesterday as well, we heard from the president of the U.S. again on the issue. There are fears that the barrel would go past the $100 again.
This morning.
Yes, and significantly impact the global economy. Honorable Lante Van der Poel, I'll start with you.
It is worrying. All of us are worried about what is happening. And yesterday, the Iranians hit 2 oil cargo ships within the strait, and this has called on the International Energy Association to ask members to release all stocks in their hold in order to augment the shortfall that this conflict is causing. That's why I said last year that was this conflict necessary at all? To me, it wasn't necessary. We could have used much more other international diplomatic means to resolve this conflict, because I thought that there was negotiations, there was a diplomatic negotiation ongoing. So for America to have usurped that and then go straight into war, I think it's a bit irresponsible. I think it's a bit too much of a unilateral decision, and they didn't seek even the permission and authority of their Senate. They didn't do
Congress.
They didn't seek the permission of the Congress. They didn't also seek the United Nations permission to undertake this. I thought that when the International Atomic Energy itself and the UN have a procedure, a process of monitoring uranium development of nuclear sources, it is important that in all situations, when we know we have a structure, we have a system in place which is checking this, we use the system until we are sure that the system has failed. That's why we say if it's not broken, we don't fix it. And that is what I expected the US to do. But then, like it happened in Libya, like it happened in Iraq,
Afghanistan,
and Afghanistan. So it is important. But then it has happened. What we need to do now? I think that, I condemned Iran's also attack on the neighboring countries and affecting business with the sub-region, with the Gulf area. That is also irresponsible on the part of Iran. Today, all of us are going to face it. I thank God that we have a very responsive mechanism in place to be able to make sure that Ghanaians don't suffer unduly as a result of what is happening at the international scene. Yesterday, I had a much more soothing message also from TOR, which is saying that apart from what the MPA has said, they are also putting in schemes and mechanism systems to make sure that we have more oil reserve for our domestic consumption that will not make us too dependent on international circles. And they also said that the bulk of our 80% of our imports comes from Europe and not from the Gulf states. So we will not be too much adversely affected.
Right.
But still, because of the international pressures and the hike,
global supply chain,
the hike in the global supply price, it will affect us in one way or the other. But then not the level that we will have done if we are not prepared. I pray that by the end of this week and next week, possibly we may see an end to all this.
Dr. Kokofu, having followed the developing issues there, will you say the U.S. underrated Iran's resolve? Also yesterday, the CNN reported that Russia is now offering some advice on drone defense systems to Iran. Are we in for the long run, and should we as a country be worried?
Well, Putin in Russia told us he was going to Ukraine and he will finish in 3 days. It's about 4 years now. So maybe Trump and the U.S. thought they were going to finish the job, but I don't think so. The conventional warfare of today is not a straightforward thing. You may win a battle today, and the other party may also come back. So, as an aggressor, the U.S. and Russia, or aggressors, the U.S. and Israel have their own game plan to finish the job in time, so we can all have a respite or something of the sort. But they are also capable of defending themselves, and they also have allies. And so if Russia is coming on board to help them, and if North Korea decides to, China decides to, so we are going to have an escalation of this war, and it will not augur well for the entire global peace systems. People have said, are we heading towards the Third World War? I do not know, and I don't want to wish so. Otherwise, the escalation of the conflict will have a dire consequences on the global economic outlook. And when these things happen, developing countries, of which Ghana is part, with these weak, non-resilient economic structures, will always be at the receiving end. And so, from time immemorial, we've said that external shocks, external occurrence, including force majeure, do have effects on us. No matter how good manager you may be as a government. And this is not limited to Ghana alone. Resilient economies in Europe, Asia, and elsewhere get these shocks, and they find themselves wanting. So NDC in government now, they are panicking and they are shivering because it's going to get back to them. Karma is really hitting them in the face. Are they going to come to public? Oh, please. Let me finish. Are they going to be able to have the guts and the balls to come to the public, I mean the people of Ghana, to tell us that what is happening in Iran is having adverse effect on us? Is it going to get this
like you did with Russia and Ukraine,
plunge us into oil crisis? And get me, the moment you have hikes in oil, petroleum, it affects almost everything within the economy, including transportation is the first part. Once transportation gets hit, then all other services also get affected. And then whatever gains you might have made in the economic fundamentals, inflation, whatever, interest rate and all those things would then get distorted and distracted. So my prayer is that as a people, we should be able to forgive ourselves. And the other day I said that for the government and for the president to be listened to, he first has to apologize to Akufo-Addo's government for making that unpleasant remark that missiles and ammunition being fired in Ukraine 7,000 miles away does not have effect on Ghana. That statement alone, but
you were using that as an excuse for everything.
Oh, please.
You were even using that as an excuse for fever.
And then you told us, we Ghanaians, that when fires are being occurring elsewhere, 7,000 miles away, it does not affect us. So today, how are you going to tell us that bombing of Iran, some 7,000 miles away, is going to affect us?
Have we said that?
This is the conversation we have. That's why we are here.
Dr. Kokufu, His Excellency Nanado also told us that he knows how to bring the economy back to life.
Yes.
But he didn't know how to bring humans back
exactly.
to life.
Oh, you are right.
So
that is how come.
But he left the economy with inflation at
No,
change his mind. He said the economy is so bad that
the one who
will come and
at the point it was even 53.4%.
Yes, and let me correct you. That's the case. J. Akufo assumed office in 2000 with skyrocketing inflations and all.
It's not true.
That was bekeyed by the then NDC.
It's not true.
We came in and we stepped.
What was the inflation at that
Why
time?
did we go to HEPIC? Why did Ghana go to HEPIC? You see,
but HEPIC is not a foundation of inflation.
So you see, economic crisis always always comes at a point, and the recovery to it must also start from somewhere. So the foundations to the economic recovery was done by NPP.
No,
then you
read the economic recovery program.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My time is up. Great show, Jude. The politicians always say the right things when they are in opposition.
Yeah.
Honorable Neil Antivandapo has been a moderate on the topics today, and I hope he gets his government to realize it before things get out of hand. This is a rather lengthy one. I'll read just brief excerpts. Is Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu suggesting that because many applicants may not meet the system's cut-off, the application slot should be widened? If so, does that mean the final selection could benefit only family and friends connected to the two major political parties in Ghana, the NPP and the NDC? Wouldn't it be fairer to allocate a fixed number of slots to each region so that everyone has an equal opportunity? At the end, it would clearly show how many qualified applicants came from each region, making it easier to account for the numbers and also determine which region had the number highest applicants. Please don't mention my name. You say
more people will apply for it in that region than the spaces available.
Let me just bring some final messages here. Hello, ChannelOne TV. Why would Ghana be involving itself in a war diplomacy overreach? I see lots of lapses in the current government security system and foreign policy. Malcolm Zuma sent that one in. Good morning, comrades and patriots of Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana. We must also know that it's not all applicants who are unemployed. I know people who are employed in other sectors like GS, Ghana Health Service, who have applied to join the security service. My question to the panelists is, what was the qualifications for the recruitment exercise? Ayi Justice from Navrongo. So many other more messages, but time wouldn't allow us to permit it. I'm so grateful for your time this morning. I appreciate your insights you brought into the conversations, and the Breakfast Daily Show continues with a hybridization conversation. You can say, I like that. I like that. The Breakfast Daily Show continues with Philip and Chris Carter. Don't go away.